Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, today is July 2nd, 2015, and this is the KNKL Show, episode 243, where we normally learn to be better artists, but today is a Talking Head show. Oh my gosh. On Thursday, Talking Head Thursday, we're going to be doing a thoughtful today, and we're going to be talking about a very special topic, and that is it possible to be too humble, as you saw the title on the front title card. But before we get into that, I do want to update you guys and let you know that the progress with Lulu is going fantastic. We've got the masks done, and we will be continuing with this on Tuesday next week. You got to be patient with me, okay? But in the meantime, if you want to check out the line art for yourself, that is uploaded onto Patreon. So if you click that link, if you're watching this on YouTube, click that link in the bottom right. Or people on Twitch, you know the website, just go check it out, support the show, and get a PSD. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the talk. All right, so too humble. What does that mean? Well, this was brought up to me by my lovely girlfriend, who just so happens to be sitting next to me. But basically, we got into a bit of a, I don't know, we could call it a debate. And it's basically like, I pride myself on, not only doing art tutorials, but I love to come to you guys and share ideas, things that kind of help us out with our mental game, because it's so much, it's great to be able to sit down and draw something, right? To know fundamentals and anatomy and composition and all that stuff. But really, if you can't get past the mental blocks, right? If you can't get past the art block or the mental blocks and all these other names that we come up with for the reasons why we don't sit our butt down in the chair and actually do something, then that can also be a very bad thing. It can be a very bad thing. It will block you and it will stop you from getting to the places that you want to in life. So that's why I really found that it's important for me. I really resonate with motivational talks, and I like hearing somebody else kind of give me experiences, give me ideas, give me tools that I can kind of put into my mental tool bag that I can pull out whenever I'm feeling a little bit sort of depressed or a little bit underconfident or unsure. And so naturally, because I've done this for years, I say to myself, it's like, wow, okay, well, the show has been awesome. I started this like 4 years ago, and I did it every day, right? I worked on it every single day, and now I'm streaming like 2 times a week, and I've been consistent for 4 years. I put in the blood, sweat, and tears every week. We're on like freaking episode 243, but there was like 100 of those before it that I didn't even count. But you know why this show is successful? It's not because of all that work. It's not because I actually showed up and did it every single day. It's not because I showed up even today and did it. The reason why is because I listened to a motivational talk, right? And this is where the argument began. And this is basically how it plays into today's talk, being too humble. Because a lot of people like to be outwardly humble. They'll be like, oh yeah, I did this and that, and I worked really hard, but really, I owe all of my success, all of my achievement to this one guy that said the word, that said the magical phrase, gave me the key, right? Gave me the key, the secret. Shh, don't tell anybody, it's a secret. Gave me the secret to becoming a success, and that's why, because that person came by and told me, right? And that is like important, but I feel that lately, I've seen a little bit more of the light as far as, it's not so much about that. It's not so much about the inspiration. I'm sure you guys have heard a quote that says it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. And really, I want to talk to you guys about this. I want to give you guys this idea because a lot of artists and just people in general tend to not give themselves enough credit, right? They don't give themselves enough credit, or even worse, is like, say you go and say you're working with a friend on something, right? You and your friend, or you and a colleague kind of have this, you're talking about something, right? Or your colleague comes to you with an idea, right? He comes to you with an idea, and he says something along the lines of, hey, you know what? You're a really great artist. You know what you should do? You should expand yourself and start going to these conventions. You should start making prints and then making a business out of that, and like promoting yourself and doing all this. You should make a comic. And yeah, these are all my ideas that I'm giving to you. But you go out there and you spend every day working on it. You put those hours into it. You build the booth. You make the prints. You figure out what material they're going to be printed on, but it's my idea. So don't forget about that. And let's go ahead and make it a business, and we'll go in 50-50, right? And if you can't tell, this has happened to me before. And this is the problem, right? Is because so often I'm very like, I think I get hung up way too much on whose idea it was in the beginning, when really it's not about ideas. It's not about the guy that says it first. It's about the guy that actually does it. It's not about the guy that has the inspiration. Yeah, ideas are great, but if you can't act upon them yourself, you can't take away credit. Like, don't take away credit from yourself because you're the one that actually did it, right? And similarly, if you give an idea to somebody else and then they go and do something with it, don't try to take the credit and say, oh, well, that was my idea, and now you took it from me, and now you're getting all the credit, you're reaping all the rewards, because guess what? It was like they could have done it just as easily as you, but they didn't. So ideas, in a general sense, are worthless, right? They're worthless unless there's somebody with skill and patience and perseverance to make it happen. All right, so that's lesson 1, okay? This is something that I had to learn basically the hard way, right? Because I landed myself in a position where I was way too humble. I was way too willing to give credit for an idea, right? When I put in so much more work than the other party, and yet we split everything 50-50. So, but let's talk about another thing. Let's talk about going back to the motivational talks, okay? And this is why I tell you guys, like, hey, like, one of the most important things is, just this whole subject, the whole subject of groupthink, right? Some people will do this thing. It's like, oh yeah, well, everybody like watches those mainstream motivational talks, right? They watch this mainstream, like The Secret, The Law of Attraction, and Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, all that stuff's mainstream. I listen to KNKL, right? Because he's awesome. Because he's he's got like a new way of explaining everything. But the problem with that is that as soon as you're basically like you're detaching yourself from one groupthink, and now you're plugging into mine, right? And you're still not allowing yourself to think for yourself. You're becoming a little bit too reliant on, oh, well, what does this guy think I should do next? What does this guy think I should do next? I need an idea. I need inspiration, right? Because until I get that inspiration, I can't do anything. And then you kind of you get kind of stuck in this learned helplessness mode where until I get some sort of positive reinforcement or some positive, like, hey, go out and get it. Go out and get it. All you got to do is go out there and do it, right? If you need somebody to tell you that, then again, you're going to land yourself in a very kind of a bit of a scary place where you just become a little bit too reliant on it. Use it, right? Use those ideas. And that's why I say, hey, everything I'm talking about here is ideas, because I want you guys to take the stuff that works for you, integrate it into your life, and then, work the plan. I can give you a plan. I can give you an idea. But when you work it, I want you to know that you're the one that was responsible for it. You're the one that's responsible for the results. And you're the one that's responsible for the success or the failure that happens in your life. And really this comes down to, and let's go ahead and bring it back, because there is a really awesome analogy that I have heard from a motivational talk that basically talks about this. It basically explains this. And it says that you want to think of yourself as like, I love analogies. I love, painting pictures, right? Imagine yourself as a farmer, right? You plant the crops, right? You plant the crops in the spring, you protect them all summer, and then you harvest them in the fall, right? Now, basically, there's two things that will happen in the fall. Either you will have not planted, you will have not done the work in the spring, you will have not nurtured and protected the plants in the summer, and then you'll have nothing in the fall. And in that case, you have to take responsibility for it. You have to take responsibility for it and say, I am the reason that this happened, right? But similarly, here's where this comes in. You do a great job in the spring. You protect the plants all fall. You give them like the specialized whatever fertilizer, and you water them and all that stuff. You plow the soil, and it's the most amazing garden that you've ever had. When that fall time comes, you can't say, well, it was because, I did a good job, but it's because of the plants, right? Or it was because of this guy that gave me an idea that I should build a garden. It's all him. In fact, I'm going to take all these vegetables, right? All these vegetables and all the produce. I'm going to give it to him because it was his idea. You have to accept your success without apology. And that's what I really like. I love that idea of saying, hey, look, if you do well, don't apologize to other people who didn't do as well because they didn't work as hard as you. They got an idea, they didn't act on it. You got an idea, you worked hard at it, and you got exactly what you deserved, right? And sometimes it'll like hail on your crop and, rain on your parade and stuff like that is going to happen. That's just part of life. But if you keep at it, it's like you will eventually get success. So, it's not going to work out perfectly every time. But basically, I'm just saying today is that you got to be very careful of being too humble. You got to be very careful of seeking outside voices to kind of reassure you that everything's going to be okay. Because if all those things go away, if all those people from the outside go away, you got to be willing to understand that you're the one that made it happen. You're the one that put the work forth, and you're the one that has that fire inside of you, that you can do it all on your own. Whether you hear another word from, another motivational speaker, whether you hear another word from me, it's got to come mostly from inside of you. So get inspiration from stuff like this, but don't rely on it. And I think in the past, I'm the perfect example here. I've relied on it a little bit too much. And so it's put me in a bit of a state of learned helplessness, which is basically a fancy way of saying, hey, I need help. I need my mommy. I need my daddy. I need somebody to come in and help me get through. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help, but just try not to, rely on it too much. All right. So that's basically what I wanted to get at today. Sort of a little bit of a disclaimer and a reminder to you guys that for those of you who watch this, I'm really wanting to just get those ideas out there. But I want you guys to realize that if anything's going to happen, it's not because I talked you into it. I can't talk you into being an amazing artist. I can't talk you into working for Blizzard or working for Riot Games or wherever you want to go work for in video games or cartoons. There's nothing that I can say that can make that happen. It's going to be you that does that. So today was just a little reminder to you. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a good old question catapulting. Let's do it. Woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, please cast your questions over the castle walls as has been instructed in this video, and I'll answer them. I hope you guys have been getting some good value out of this today. It feels I'm in such a better mood than I was yesterday. Yesterday is just like I'm getting ready to move out of here. Like I've been in this apartment for over a year now, and I'm getting ready to buy my own place. Like it's freaking awesome. I'm so excited. But of course, first-time home buyers. I'm 27. About to buy a house. It's like really, really stressful. I don't know what there's so many like numbers and contracts and crap flying around. It's just like I hardly know what's going on. So yesterday, if you couldn't tell, I was in a little bit more of a stern mood. But today I'm feeling much better. So, questions coming in from Personalami. Being one of the creators of popular characters such as Ari, how do you feel about the fact that there's so much not safe for work fan arts over the internet? This is a very good question. Very good question, actually. As far as not safe for work stuff, there's artists out there that do it and they're very successful. A great example being on Patreon. And it's like, again, they shouldn't be apologizing for their success because guess what? It's like, I could do that stuff too. But personally, I don't want to be known for that. I want to, because I can't really explain my decision on it, really in just a couple sentences. But basically, it's like I have kind of an image of the artist that I want to be, and the kinds of, just kind of the audience that I want to appeal to, right? And part of the show is I like it to be accessible to a wide range of viewers, right? So by automatically doing not safe for work stuff, it automatically begins to narrow that audience. But as far as people that do it, I don't care. It's like if they want to do that, there's an audience out there for it, and you can become very successful doing it with stuff like Patreon. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, but it's never offensive. I don't see it as offensive. Ari isn't really my character, but even if it was one of my characters, it's whatever. It's gonna happen anyway. If it's on the internet, there's gonna be Rule 34 all over it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. His brain is asking a great question. Do you ever get bored of painting? Yes, I get bored of painting all the time, and it just has to do with when I'm just kind of stuck on one subject. Like say I'm working on one character concept. If I'm doing that for weeks on end, iterating, coming up with all kinds of different shapes or in-game reads. Like most of the time I'm drawing the character from the in-game angle, working for League of Legends. So you're looking at it top down, drawing characters from those angles. drawing them like standing up, like from the side, front, back, every single conceivable angle that you could think of, can get a little bit draining if you don't have something to kind of balance it with. So the way that I avoid kind of burnout, as we like to call it, is taking breaks. I take breaks. I'll walk around, make some food, stretch my wrist, which is also another very important thing, because I've had problems in the past where I've injured myself from just working constantly. And like I get like a death grip on this freaking Wacom thing, and I hold it like it's like a claw grip. So I take it out and my hand's like stuck like this, and that's not good. So make sure that you are taking breaks, right? And have a couple other projects that you can kind of do. Ideally, either another painting or have a hobby, right? I always talk about my guitar over there. I like to play guitar. I like to, I just got a membership at the gym so I can go get in shape, because, getting a little skinny, getting a little too scrawny, I want to be a little bit more like Larry. Larry Ray, the Bravo Ray. He designed amazing champions such as Vel'Koz and who else did he do? Zach. Yeah, he is the rare buff artist. Like, you see this guy, he is like the coolest guy ever. He is just literally like, he's sitting at his desk and his muscles are so big. He's like, he makes the Cintiq look so tiny. He's just like working on it. He's got these giant muscles and he's like super cool. So I want to be more like Larry, and you guys should want to be more like him too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, because it's good. It's good to be healthy. So think of other hobbies to keep yourself interested. Alrighty. A couple more questions, then we're going to end today's show. Queen Jessica is asking, encouraging talk and gluck on housing stuff. Did you find it hard to work with others in the beginning? Did you feel like... Oh, shoot. Wait. Shoot, I'm not sure I understand the question. Do you feel your idea can truly help the company instead of other ideas people are pitching? Oh. Are you talking about just like working with the company in general? Like pitching my ideas? Sometimes. I mean, like, I work from home now, so the nice thing is that I personally like to stay out of a lot of the decision making, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to work from home, because it's like, hey, they're in the office, they're meeting with the team like 5 times a day. Let them do all the idea pitching, let them make the decisions, and I will just be the art muscle now. I'll just be the guy that they come to and say, all right, Keenan, we want to do this and this and this and this, and then I sit down and then I do that, and then I can do that at the freedom of my own house, my own pace. And it's very, very free. So I would rather I appreciate that much more than being the actual decision maker, because there's already plenty of other people that can do that and probably do it much better than me that are working in the office. So, all right, last question. Grimbark. What's the best way to present a portfolio to a possible employer? Assuming that you can't do it in person, of course. Is DeviantArt too unprofessional? Should one look into getting their own website for examples instead? Okay, Grimbark, the way that I personally like to do it is if you look on my YouTube channel, I have my demo reels. So I use After Effects to put those together, but any sort of like video editing software where you can just put together a couple, do a couple little fancy transitions, some fades, some wipes in there, get some sparkles or whatever, and then back it with a music track, a nice kind of not too disrupting, not too crazy, just like a 30-second to a minute clip of a few of your drawings. I find that very exciting to send to an employer, because first of all, not a lot of other artists are going to be sending them demo reels, like actual videos. And second of all, most of them are just going to be getting, DeviantArt. So as much as I hate to admit it, sending a DeviantArt link to a possible employer will kind of, just because everybody already has a DeviantArt, you want to stand above the crowd. Not that DeviantArt is necessarily unprofessional, but it's very kind of predictable. It's predictable, and just there's nothing really that stands out about it. You want to be the guy that had the video, the YouTube video of like, oh yeah, who was that guy that had the video with like that music going and had that really cool sparkly transition, right? You want to be that guy. Or lady. I don't know what you are, but anyway, make it unique to you. So that's my suggestion. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and end today's show. Thank you guys so much for joining me live on Twitch. People on YouTube, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. My name is Keenan Lafferty. Before we go, I would like to say thank you to my 2 awesome sponsors, aka the defenders of the KNKL Kingdom, David Chiaro-Yellow and Laura Bashir. Thank you guys so much. These guys keep the lights running at night and defending the kingdom. If you would like to sponsor the show and get yourself an awesome animated avatar, and oh yeah, the other thing is you can check out their art. It is in the link of the description if you're watching this on YouTube, as well as on my DeviantArt. I promote your artwork if you sponsor the show. But you can get all that cool stuff and more if you click that link in the bottom right, and you can go support the show, and you can get the PSD from the Lulu piece that we're going to be doing next week. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, that is going to be it. So you guys take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. And until next time, you guys take care. See ya.